Before I even start, I just want to make sure that everybody can see my screen. What you should be seeing is a screen that says Act Thuthukisani program.
Good morning. Yes, I can see it.
All right, thank you very much. So before I start, just a few house rules. Could I please make sure that everybody's microphones are off? You're more than welcome to have your camera on, but could I please just make sure that everybody's microphones are off so that we don't have any reverb on my end? We also can have only one person talking at the same time. You will be given an opportunity at the end to ask questions. But could I please just make sure that everybody's microphones are off, and then we can start. All right, as I had said earlier, I'm currently working from home. There might be some taxis passing by, so I may need to stop for just a few seconds to let them pass through. Please do forgive me for that, and I do apologize in advance. Anything else on my side in terms of house rules? Please grab tea, coffee, water. Make sure that you have pen and paper ready. Please hold off on all questions because I may actually be answering whatever question you have. Otherwise, we will be taking on questions at the very end of the presentation. So I will be starting. Welcome to the Act Thuthukisani Program 2024 iteration. We're calling this particular iteration Atologa, which means to increase, to extend, to... forgot the word that I was actually going to use, but that's what it basically means. And the main reason we're doing that is because we are actually looking at all 9 provinces this particular time around. Whereas in the past, we have gone into 3 cycles, which included 3 provinces at a time. All right, our agenda. What is ACT, or who is ACT? We're going to be looking very, very briefly at the 2021-2026 strategy, which is what brought about the Act Thuthukisani program. We're going to be looking at the purpose, the issue, sorry, that's meant to be something else at the end there, of Thuthukisani, who is eligible for that, the selection criteria that is going to be used, the program format, which is inclusive of master classes, the investment period, and the program schedule. And then we'll be going into Q&A. So what is ACT? The Act Thuthukisani program is an independent and, independent development and art investment organization with the aim of increasing capacity for arts and culture initiatives to create sustainable futures in South Africa. We work on structured development programs. In the past, what used to happen is that we would have people applying at any particular time, close off the application, and without having really much of, we had a structure of a sort, but without having the same structure that we have currently, we would then give out what we then used to call funding, which has become a swear word in the office. And over the last 30 years, we've supported more than 830 acts, which fall under arts, culture, heritage development projects. And these have all been countrywide, inclusive of small businesses, NPOs, you name it. We've literally just gone through everybody that is within the arts and culture heritage development projects. What we've also done is given support to expressions of arts and culture, including literature, music, visual art, theatre, and dance, and supported festivals, community arts initiatives arts management, arts education, and arts administration. And you'll notice that with this particular cohort, for Thuthukisani especially, we're looking at particular or select industries within the arts and culture industry. In 2019, or was it 2018, we did a very small roadshow throughout the country. And what we basically wanted to find out is our audience still the same? Do people know us as who we know ourselves to be? And what do people think of us? Which led to us then doing a nationwide MNE. And out of that MNE, we then put together a new strategy, because for the 15 years prior to that, we had two strategies, but they did not really work for us. And this came out of the MNE report that came through. So we then sat down and looked at our strategy and came up with a number of programs, of which Thuthukisani is one of them. We obviously closed down our offices during the COVID-19 pandemic, worked from home to finalize the strategy, and re-looked a few things that we as ACT were not happy with. And out of that, we then came up with a strategy that promised to elevate the status of the trust from just a grant-making organization or a fund-making organization to one that now looks at development within organizations that come onto our programs. Those that have already been through Thuthukisani would have noticed that we have actually run things differently to how we used to run our programs in the past. Our strategy focuses on skills and professional development for the arts and culture sector. Its purpose is to enable South African arts and culture practitioners to be able to achieve sustainable futures for themselves. So we're not just saying to people, here's a program and we will see you again the next 18 months. What we're saying to people is, here's a program, learn what you can, take the little bit that you can from this program, but also combine it with a few other elements that you currently have within your business so that you're able to sustain yourselves. And we do this through professional and entrepreneurial advancement, and obviously building networks. We work with you from the very beginning to the end of that program. And even post the program, we'll make sure that we are still able to give you some sort of assistance. Our mission as ACT is now to be a proactive growth initiator in South African creative economy, with the following descriptors being used, or we would like to know ourselves as the following: a growth initiator, a leader, a nurturer, a supporter, a capacitator, solutioneer, enabler, facilitator, and being proactive. We're finding that a whole lot of people are coming to us to ask us a whole lot of questions about how can I, or how can my business do A, B, C, and D? And therefore, we're finding that we are able to give solutions to the problems that people have, and also to assist them in providing solutions to the problems that they have themselves. ACT is the managing company or the managing organization and owner of the ACT Thuthukisani program, with Nedbank being the investment partner in this. So at the moment, there are only two partners for the ACT Thuthukisani program. We are not government-led. Please note that we are not government-led. It's just ACT on its own, obviously with founding partners, of which Nedbank is one of them, and the government does not take part in any of the programs that we run. So anybody that has ever said to anyone that is in this meeting that we get money from the government, that is a lie. The ACT Thuthukisani program, the purpose is to drive income generation for arts and culture focused projects. What we do is we take you on a 2 to 3 month training program, which has mentorship as a very big element of it. We then select a few people out of that program to obviously implement their projects. There is an investment, a monetary investment that is given to those organizations to run their projects over a 90-day period. 90, that is 3 months. And that's when the monetary investment comes in. Within that implementation phase of your project, there is guided business mentorship that is also given. So from day one of the training right through to the very end of the Thuthukisani program, mentorship is part and parcel thereof. And in that 90-day period, you have one-on-one professional business mentorship. It is not a grant making or an employment program. So we do not promise you that we will give you employment at the end of the program. However, what we do promise is that we will work with you to make sure that your project is sustainable, that you are able to employ people within your organization, but we're not saying that ACT will employ you. However, we could at some point say to you, we've got an event or a project that we are running and we would like to make use of resources that you have. What we've done in the past is we've looked at our alumni and we've asked them to be part and parcel of whatever project or event that ACT is running, and we have either sourced their products from them or their services. But that only comes in at the very end of the Thuthukisani program, and there's obviously a few elements that you need to pass, for lack of a better word, in order for us to be able to work with you going forward. Throughout the Thuthukisani program, we review your project plan with you or your project idea to make sure that it is something that you're able to use moving forward to grow, not just the project, but also the business as a whole. And obviously, there is a selection criteria that is to be followed in order for you to be, one, included in the program, and two, to be included in the implementation element of the program. What we're asking of people is to use their to use their assets, their networks, and the investment that they receive to execute those projects within that 90 days in order to create that sustainability. The program outcomes: increase project development with mentorship training, as I've mentioned before, governance and accountability, operational sustainability in the creative economy, and for you to have knowledge in marketing, asset-based citizen-led development processes and tools, and then obviously financial marketing. Initially, when I started, I did mention that we have in the past looked at all disciplines within the arts and culture sector. What we're currently doing for this particular cohort of Thuthukisani is we're taking on formal and informal organizations, formal obviously being registered with SARS and the CIPC. Informal is not registered with either of those two organizations, and obviously we're including community art centers as part and parcel of organizations that are going to be part of Thuthukisani. But what we are looking at under disciplines is visual arts, digital arts, performing arts, and music. And what we have found in the past 3 cohorts that we have run is that those 4 disciplines are the ones that are actually popular in applying, popular in actually making it past the training period and going forward. These are the people that seem to grow. I have listed who falls under those 4 disciplines. And if yours is not listed in there, but you fall within those 4 disciplines, please do apply. I do need to mention, though, that if you have a music video or you're doing documentaries about animals, you're not eligible for consideration into the program. For these, what we will do is obviously direct you to your appropriate supporting organization. So again, visual arts, digital arts, performing arts, and music. But if you are doing music videos or documentaries, please note that you will not be able to apply for the Thuthukisani program, or if you do apply, we will not be considered for eligibility. The selection criteria: you must have a project outline that supports assets that contribute to the successful implementation of your project. And when you're writing out your application form, your project idea must be as clear and as specific as possible. So what we're asking of you is, who is your audience? How will it serve your audience? Why is this project idea beneficial, not just to you, but to your community as well? You must have a budget and a budget implementation plan, which goes one-on-one with your project outline or your project idea. It must also be cost saving. It should be an idea that is able to generate an income over a 90-day period, not at the end of the 90-day period, but over that 90-day period. You must make sure that you're able to benefit from mentoring. And this is very important because we've had people come onto the program and while being mentored, literally just sit there and do nothing. And then at the very end are not able to produce anything because they know better, because this is what they've been doing. But if you listen to somebody who's actually dealt with people, not just in the country, but also internationally, because remember that at some point you will be dealing with international audiences, you will need to be able to learn, because everybody learns on a daily basis. I learn every day. I have been attending Thuthukisani all 3 cohorts, and every single time I have learned something new. Our mentorship is inclusive of in-training and project implementation mentorship, as I've said. And there's also obviously group and one-on-one business mentorship during the investment and execution phase. Your project must be adaptable in the present circumstances taking place in the country. We're all going through load shedding. So in the training, you cannot say, I'm just going through load shedding and you just sit. You need to find another way of making sure that you are in the program. Because if you're not there, believe me when I say that you will not be allowed to continue with the program. COVID is still something that is very hectic. We're not talking about it as much as we used to, but it's still very prevalent in the country. So how will your project still be adaptable with COVID and load shedding still being some things that are taking place in the country? And then the last point that I've included there is that your project must show support of the longer term sustainability of the business and how it will create an opportunity for your business to grow. There's been a lot of questions leading up to today about who's going to be or how many people will we take onto this project and what is going to happen. So this is what the slide talks to. We're going to be taking on a minimum of 50 to a maximum of 90 participants from all 9 provinces. In the past, we've literally only taken on 7 per province. And that number is then going to be divided into 5 formal organizations per province, 2 informal organizations per province, and 3 CACs per province. Online applications only will be permitted. So what we're basically saying with that is, do not email me with your application form, please. I will not be able to go through all 9 pages of that application form to fill it out for you. Only online applications are permitted. ACT is not involved in any way in terms of the application selections that we will be doing. We've got industry experts who have already been selected who will be doing this. And as we've said, an intake includes informal and formal organizations, as well as CACs. The online training will be a 2-month period, or will run for a 2-month period. which will be inclusive of master classes and group facilitations, peer-to-peer learning, in-class individual exercises. There will be masterclass surveys that we'll be doing prior to and after each masterclass. And each masterclass will take up to 5 to 6 hours per day. I understand that is a full day, but if you're going to be part and parcel of the participants for Thuthukisani, you need to make sure that you are available for those 5 to 6 hours. In the past, we've had people then suddenly 3 hours into a masterclass decide that they've got another meeting, miss out on the bulk of what needs to happen for the next masterclass or what they need for their submission, miss out, and at the very end then come back and ask us questions. Please make sure that you're able to be there for those 5 to 6 hours. What we're looking at to cover is business and product components. We are looking at AI, mixed reality and metaverse opportunities, and access to market. As I said, the selections will be conducted by industry experts, and this is the same as those that will be going on to the final phase of Thuthukisani to go into implementation. And in the investment and implementation phase, as I said, it is conducted by industry experts. 100% attendance is required per masterclass. You're not allowed to miss it. You miss a single class, you are out. That is how serious we are about Thuthukisani. We've been lenient with others in the past, but for this particular cohort, we're not going to be able to do so because we need to start being very serious about how we run our classes, how we run our programs. But more than that, you need to be serious about where you see your business or your projects going. There'll be collaboration and peer-to-peer education and learning, as I said, during master classes, and these are very strongly encouraged. Each person is requested to please take their own notes. Nobody will be taking notes for anybody. And I'm being serious about this because I've had people come back and say, I missed a session and could I please have the recording or the notes that were taken in class. As I said, pre, during, and post master classes, there'll be surveys that are conducted, and these will be to test your knowledge, your understanding, and application of concepts. What we also do is we have partnered up with our crew, which is a research division of ACT that is run in conjunction with the University of Johannesburg College of Business and Economics. And what we're basically doing is looking at how does the program give back to the community? Are people really taking on what they're learning from Thuthukisani and applying it not just during the program, but even afterwards? Are they not just surviving, but are they able to sustain themselves? Has there been any other employment post that particular project that they're running? Has the business grown? And would you be able to obviously come back and take up any more of the ACT programs that we run? As I've said, the onus is on the participants who are part and parcel of the program to be fully engaged during each masterclass. It is not up to the facilitators or the mentor to run the sessions for you. These are all for you. And if you're not going to be engaged, then you might as well not be part of the program. The investment program, as I've said, is a 90-day phase. It runs over a 3-month period where each participant will be working with a mentor, a business coach, to implement their business. And what we're asking of you to use the knowledge that you have, the knowledge that you've garnered throughout the training phase, your understanding and your application to implement your project. 100% attendance of each of the sessions that will be taking place during this investment period is required from every single person that will be part and parcel of this final phase. Again, collaboration and peer-to-peer education and learning is still strongly encouraged. Our crew research is still taking part throughout the entire program, so your participation is very much valued, and every single person that is involved in this particular phase of the project is required to send through reports. Obviously, dates will be given to those that make it to this point. And if you do not send in your report along with the paperwork that is required of you, investment is not given. And then finally, the program dates. Today we have an invitation to apply. Open call is on the 20th of February, which, unless I'm mistaken, is next week, Tuesday, and it will close on Thursday, the 12th of April, 2024. Throughout the month of April, we will then have verifications of all applications that come through, along with selections following thereafter. Announcements will be made by the 10th of June. A briefing session will be taking place with the participants that are selected to be part of the program between the months of June and July. We will let them know, obviously, when we are announcing who they are. Masterclasses will then take place between July and August. Submissions, the final proposal submissions are expected by the 9th of September, and these will obviously then be reviewed and judged accordingly, with the announcements of those that are going into that final phase on the 18th of November, with that final phase only taking place in January to March of next year. The reason why there's so many gaps in between is because, again, we had over 500 people showing interest in applying for Thuthukisani. We then had over 200 people showing interest in being part and parcel of this particular session. We will also have up to 90 people in the program. And because of the large numbers that we have, we need to make sure that every single person is, whatever paperwork that they submit for Thuthukisani, whatever part of the program that they're in, it is going to be looked at by every single person who sits in the committee. It's not just one person or two people. So because we have quite a number of people that are sitting in those committees, and we have such a large number of people who will be participating in Thuthukisani, we need to make sure that everything that they submit is reviewed properly. If there's any questions that need to be answered, then the participants will then be called in if need be. And obviously that is going to be quite a long-ish process. Also, that proposal submission phase is quite lengthy and quite strenuous. So when we get to that point also, we need to make sure that everybody is considered properly and fairly, hence the gaps in the phases. And I stand to be corrected, but I think this is the last slide. Are there any questions at this point? Katloch, if you wouldn't mind, please helping me with people's names.
Not a problem.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Hi, please introduce yourself before you ask.
Sure. My name is Nobantu. I wanted to ask, is there an age limit for people who want to participate in this program?
We actually don't have an age limit, Nobantu. No, we don't have an age limit for Thuthukisani. We've had people as young as 20 applying, and as old as, and I think the oldest was around 65.
Okay,
Marie was the oldest. So up to 65, I mean, there's still people who are supposedly on pension but still working. So, you know,
Wonderful.
there is
That's
no
nice.
age limit.
Thank you for clarifying. The second one, you've given us a timetable that's very
Mhm.
clear, but would you be able to give an idea of some of the masterclass topics that get covered? I'm conscious that it might change from year to year, but maybe there are some central themes that you like to keep during the program.
So I can mention, let me just get to that slide first. I can mention that we'll be taught, the training will cover business and product components. We will look at AI and mixed reality or metaverse opportunities, and access to market. Those three I can definitely confirm. We are still looking at how else to work with our curriculum at this point. And if you just follow us on our website, we will be able to confirm the finality of those within the next few days. There is going to be a section on our website on the Thuthukisani page that will cover those.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Palesa, if I may interject, everyone, please note that like I see your hands are raised. I will read out a name and we're gonna do it from top down. So I would like Stuart to go next. Please unmute.
Okay, good morning, guys. My name is Shimastu. I run a company called Best So Far, and a full service music company. So, my question is, with regards to the project that needs to be revenue generating, because you indicated that there's 4 disciplines that you must be in. So, in terms of, okay, I speak specifically, I am in music, I am in the music industry, but does your project need to make money in that exact discipline in those 90 days? Or can you creatively do it where music is just aiding revenue generation, but we could be making money from clothing, for example?
Um, Stuart, can I ask you this? What is your project about? I'll answer
What
your
is
question just now. I know you're saying music, but can you give me a little bit more elaboration on what exactly in music?
so we do full service music. So we do all of the behind the scenes. We do music distribution, we do music publishing, basically from creating the music to getting it out with the team and
All
of
right.
the
Okay, so in between, are you going to have any down times within those 90 days where you're not able to produce or make an income or a profit rather?
Yes, there are downtimes. It's just that, especially with music and the section of it that we involved in, it's it's unpredictable because you could be making money from streams at one time, but you've
Mm.
got no performance. When you perform, 2 or 3 days after that, you make money from streams. So to answer you directly, there would be times where there's downtime, but it could change in 2 or 3 days. It's very unpredictable.
Yeah, no, that is fully understandable. So you obviously do need to make a profit over that 90-day period. We're not saying on every single day you need to make a profit. But what we're asking is over that 90-day period, you should be able to make a profit. The reason we're saying that is we have had people come onto the program and they only do one concert a year. And they the investment obviously needs to cover the time when you putting your project together so that at the end of it, when you send in your final report, you should be able to give us an idea of I have used X amount of money from the investment received, or all of that money rather, and this is how much profit I have made, and this is how I intend to continue using whatever profits I have made going forward. But we're not saying that you should be making a profit every single day. But there should be some sort of a way that we are able to obviously view that you've been using that money in order to make a profit. Yes, you'll be buying things. Yes, you'll be selling regardless, but you should be able to use that investment over that 90-day period to make a profit. Am I answering
Yeah,
your question?
and I understand to a degree. And then on that note, is there opportunity for further investment beyond the 90-day implementation project?
No, so Thuthukisani has the Atologa project has a start and an end period. We start now and we end in March of next year, is that April of next year. Post that, we will then be launching the next iteration of Thuthukisani, which means new people then coming on board. So in terms of investments, it is only limited to this particular cohort that will be on the program. And post that, we should have learned how to take your assets, how to take your networks, how to use the investment that's given to you to make the extra profit so that you don't come back and ask us for more. That's the whole point of Thuthukisani.
Noted.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
All right, okay.
Next question, please, from Bongani.
Hi, thank you. It's Bongane Nicholas Ngomane. I'm from Stage Visit. I just have 3 questions to say. One is in the 90 days expected from me to attend, is it every day, 5 to 6 hours, Monday to Friday, every day? And that's the first question. And then the second question is, what are the terms and conditions or returns or probably dividends expected from me as a company or an organization? What are you expecting to benefit from me, and what are the terms and conditions basically? And since it's a privately owned entity, because sometimes you're expected us to make a profit in 90 days. Based on experience, it's so difficult to do that unless it's a short business idea, project or medium sometimes. But with some of us have long-term ideas that needs a serious build up to make profit, but it just needs to be sustained from the ground first before it can make that profit. So yes, those are my 3 questions. Thank you.
All right, so you are expected to be in the master classes during the training as well as during that final phase as they're given. So if you are selected to be in the program, there will be a schedule that will run. So the schedule that I've shown you is just an overall schedule for the program, how it's going to be conducted. But if you're selected to be in the program, there will be a schedule that is given to you for the master classes as well as that final phase, for the lessons that I'll be given in that final phase. No, we're not expecting you to be there every single day, but you will be expected there on the days that a masterclass takes place. You are expected to be there from the beginning of the masterclass right through to the end. You're also expected to produce whatever exercises are given to you in class as well as outside of class, as well as to obviously furnish the surveys. In terms of your business ideas, yes, we fully understand that there are obviously longer term business projects that run. But remember that your projects aren't necessarily just for that 90-day, or you're not solely running them from that 90-day. So while you're having your master classes, you meant to work with your mentor to see how you can start from that day, from that first day of class, to work on your project, so that when you get to that final execution phase, you've already been in the background working in one way or another on your project. What we're not expecting of you is on that first day of implementation to say to us, oh, I now need to go get customers. You should have already started having customers by now. We're not expecting you to say, hey, I don't have any funding, because the little bit of funding that we're giving you is the little bit of funding that we are getting also from our investors. And that needs to be broken up into the number of participants that will be taken onto that final phase. And hence why we're breaking it down into 35K for formal and 10K for informal. We've looked at a number of ways that we can do this, but we're finding that it's best for participants to start working on their projects from the get-go and not wait until that final phase. So you will have mentors who aren't just facilitation mentors, but industry mentors who work also on a daily, who have run businesses and are still running businesses. So you have somebody there with you from the get-go to work with you on your projects to make them successful. The whole point of Thuthukisani is to take a project idea and to make it successful. We're not saying to you, we're just going to leave you in the lurch. The whole point of it is to make you successful, to be profitable, so that you're able to grow. We understand that people have long-term plans, but how can you take those long-term plans and break them down into smaller yana plans so that you can take the smaller yana plans and use those to get to the bigger ones? Because you should be able to have the what do you call them again? Short-term, medium-term, and long-term plans, and be able to execute them so that you're able to get from A to Z. I can't remember what your second question was. Please repeat the second question.
It was, what are the terms and conditions since you're private, or returns or dividends expected from what are you expecting to benefit from the organizations that you work with in terms of contractual things and so on?
So
Yeah.
if you make it onto the program, then and only then are we able to give out that information. But what we're basically asking for people is, if you're saying that you're formal, you need to be registered, fully registered with the CIPC as well as SARS. So you should not be owing anybody any money, whether it's CIPC or SARS. You should have all your documentation properly. If you're informal, we understand that you have not registered or are in the process of registering. So that part we understand. CACs fall in between. So they're either formal or informal. You will have somebody from Saki who is able to give you guidance in terms of where you are within your formalization. But I mean, you should know as a business owner whether you're formal or informal. But we will be able to send all this information through to you. Send me an email, actually. As an independent, send me an email.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Yeah. When you say what are you hoping to benefit, are you asking what is ACT hoping to benefit?
Yes.
We want to make the industry as profitably sustainable as possible. That's our benefit. That's what we're hoping to gain from all of this, to make the industry as profitably as. Look, what we've seen from the time that COVID hit was that this industry, along with a few others, it took a huge knock. People lost their businesses. People are still dependent on government. We still have that whole give me mentality. And what ACT is trying to do is get people out of that mentality. We should be able to use what we've learned from ABCD is you should be able to use what you currently have, what you learn, and use your networks to grow. And we still very much a give me mentality, and we need to get out of that whole thing. Um, it's something that's still killing the industry. It's not just this industry. I mean, entertainment is just as bad. The tourism and hospitality industry are just as bad, you know. So what we're saying to the industry is give us an opportunity to give back to you what we know. We work with people who are currently working, who've made it in the industry. And these people are saying to us that they have a hunger to teach. People have a hunger to learn. Why not combine those two into one so that we're able to feed from each other, learn from each other, take the little bit that we can from each other so that everybody gains and everybody is able to take their very little businesses and make a little bit more than what they're currently making from them. So our benefit is we are able to see the industry growing and being sustainable for themselves, by themselves, with themselves. Because if everybody works together to make it together, everybody grows, everybody gains money somehow. Does that make sense? It's a debate that we can have. It's a debate that we've had in the past. And we can have this conversation offline, you and I. But that's what we would like to give back to the industry. That's what we have noticed is a gap in the industry that people are still asking for. I hate to use the word grants, and they're not looking back at what they have that they can use and apply it to make more.
Okay, if I may, Palisa, the next person to pose the question is Kopano, if you can.
Hi, Kopan.
Hi, Palisa. Thank you for the presentation.
Pleasure.
Unfortunately, my network kept was unstable basically, so I couldn't hear the whole presentation. I kept coming in and out.
All right.
I saw on one of the slides that just to be clear first, does the Act Thuthukani program do funding as well?
So I can hardly hear you, Kopan. Try that last part again.
I'm asking if the Act Thuthukani program, do they do funding?
Oh, Kopana, don't swear at me. We don't do funding.
Okay.
Funding is a swear word. No, we don't
Okay.
do funding. So we give organizations an opportunity to
Okay.
grow their
Their own
profits.
profit. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't do
Okay.
funding, no. So if
Okay.
you want to know how to make a profit
Yeah.
and use that profit to sustain your project and your organization, then Thuthukisani is a way of doing that.
Okay. Cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but
Now that
ACT does not do no
do
we no
funding. Okay.
no.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Now that that is clear, I just wanted to ask because there's a part where you say you don't take projects that do music videos and documentaries. You didn't mention whether films, for example. I know a documentary is some form of a film, but
No
there's sort of a,
films we yeah no films we also don't touch.
okay,
We don't have the wherewithal for films, so what we would then do is ask you to please go through to the National Films and what do they call them?
Video Foundation. Yes, the
India, yeah,
NGF.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
No, I just wanted to be clear on that as well.
All right, and please don't swear at people.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
sure.
Next person is Gosi Yazi.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, hi.
Yeah, I just have two basic questions, really. Can organizations with multiple art disciplines apply? Like, are they eligible? I saw on one other slide you mentioned the types of arts that you all endorse and stuff. So, can one organization that does multiple things apply for your program. And oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask if I'm able
My,
to answer both.
my second question is that does load shedding become a factor if you are to go through the master classes and the 6-hour classes?
All right. So, first question, we look at people that cover these 4 disciplines, but also remember under your selection criteria, these are the things that people are looking at. If you fall within those 4, any one of those 4, or your organization covers all of those 4, do you have an idea, a project idea, or a project outline that is able to take any one of those and make a profit for your business? I know
Yes.
I'm answering your question by asking you a question, but that's how you also need to think of it. I've got these 4 disciplines, or my business covers these 4 disciplines, but does my project idea using those 4, will it then be able to generate an income over the 90-day period if I'm selected? But over and above that, will it be able to give me sustainability?
Well, yes, that was the idea, but it started with one thing because I do music mostly.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, but
Okay.
then I got into other ventures that I started in those ventures in the hopes of promoting my music, but then they grew into something like else
Something
for
else.
myself. Yes.
Okay, so what I would suggest, and I know I'm cutting you short here, it's just that I just want to make sure that we cover other people. You should be able to have an idea that you can use out of those disciplines that you cover.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so the application form will ask you specifically for that. What business idea do you have that you can use to come onto the program?
So
And
you're
how
saying
will
on
you
the
be able to
program I
use?
can only focus on just one.
Correct. So you're not
Okay.
focusing on all of our ideas, but out of those ideas, which one are you selecting?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And sorry, what was your second question again?
Like, does stuff like load shedding become a factor if you are to get into those 6-hour master classes or
All
class?
right. So the reason why I did not go into the office is because at exactly 12 o'clock, there's load shedding at the office, which means that the network at the office will be very iffy. But I'm also working from home, and I had load shedding from 10 o'clock, and it will finish at 12:30. But I'm connected currently to my phone. So I don't ever want to use load shedding as a reason as to why I was not able to make it onto any sort of meeting. We should not be able to. Load shedding is here, guys. It's going to be here for as long as we can possibly consider. We should never ever start using load shedding for the things that we're not able to do. Are there other areas close to where you are that do not have load shedding that you can go to laptop, dongle, take your modem and go there and connect from there? Do you have friends that live in another area that you can connect from? Are you able to you need to be creative and find, we're all in the creative industry, guys. We need to find creative ways of getting over things that are currently happening to us. Yes, we put in a position that we did not create, but we're here. So how do we do this for ourselves to get over this hurdle?
All right,
But
thank you.
I do not support the idea of somebody using load shedding as a reason as to why they were not able to make it to class. It's just one of those no-nos for me, especially because there's various ways that there's libraries, there's CACs. I mean, CACs have well, the few that I know of, have spaces that they've opened up that can be used. There's a number of internet cafes that you can go to. I'm sure you've got friends, networks, people that you are friendly with. You've got people that you work with that have access at the time that you don't have access. So what creative ways can you use to get over what we're currently going through?
Me, myself, creative ways.
Everyone who's currently in this meeting, what ways can we? I'm not asking you to give me those ideas, but I'm just saying, we need to find ways of getting over what is currently happening to us. And load shedding is a no-no. I personally do not accept somebody saying to me, I was not able to come to a masterclass because of load shedding. And that's just a personal thing. Because you do it once, you'll be able to do it again next week when you have another masterclass, next month when you have another masterclass. At which point do I then say to the facilitator, okay, this person is allowed because of load shedding. Out of the 90 people, how many people are going to come back and say, we've had load shedding and therefore? Yeah?
All right.
All right. Thank you. Continue, please, Katz.
On that note, Lawrence, you have the floor.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, good morning.
Sorry, is it Lauren or Lawrence?
Lawrence.
Lawrence, I can hardly hear you. Can you try and speak up?
Okay. Let me just raise my volume. Am I audible now?
Yes, that's
Okay.
much better.
So, yeah, my question is a bit of a sideways question in that, so me and my wife kind of created an informal artist-led kind of project where we mentor artists and kind of connect them into the industry. So our mentoring project is basically us as artists who are experienced in the field and kind of giving skills to these people. The kind of issues that you're talking about, problem solving, etc., etc. I think my question is based on, so the project is kind of going on and it's being put together formally in that we're trying to register the thing. But what I wanted to know is that Thuthukisani, is it a project where you kind of get business mentorship and possibly find ways of expanding on clients and etc. Is that what I'm getting?
We work with you to find the best possible solutions with you to make success of your business. So
Okay.
so we try and give you possibilities to what you currently have.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but you remember the business is yours to run,
Sure,
even
definitely.
after we're not there. So
Yeah.
we're not saying that we will run it for you during that implementation phase or even throughout the training.
Okay.
But we give you pointers in terms of the where, the how, the why, the what, and the who.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second part is that, like, so as I said, like it's an artist-led project where and we do have somebody that we've appointed as our kind of administrator who's also an artist as well.
Mm.
And so what I'm trying to say, the master classes and attendance, is that something that is interchangeable between all of us? So for example, if one class speaks to a particular issue that I think I need to develop from. So for example, I'm playing this leadership role where I'm curating and assisting and lecturing people. And so Musa is mostly the administrator who, for example, when we make applications, she's the one that like kind of is more, I don't know, she's got more prowess in that kind of field. So will the project allow for this kind of interchangeable um, uh, representation of the business? Is that
So long as you guys share information between the two of you so that if you're not there, Musa knows what happened previously and is
Okay.
able to take over where you are leaving off. I personally don't see a problem with that. It's something that we would need to discuss in the office. We've had sessions in the past where two people have actually attended the first few sessions and then one person was not able to make it, but they shared notes, obviously, because they
Okay.
work in the same office. So
Well,
if it's something that you guys do not have any issues with, I don't have an issue with.
okay. Last question. So the master classes, are those kind of recorded as well, and distributed to the participants, or is it something that's kind of like in person and ephemeral and can never be experienced ever again?
There are a number of CACs that were part of our last sessions, Tabiso being one of them. And I know that he wants to apply again. He's more than welcome to because he's a CAC. Although we did say that no past participants. Now I understand why he's wanting to do it, but at the same time, yes, they will be recorded. Yes, they are a once off because how can I put this? A once off in the sense that it's a different experience for different people during this particular cohort.
Okay.
And we might not have the same mentors in the next cohort.
Okay.
Yeah, so if there are recordings, they'll only be available for this particular cohort that will be taking part. But once this particular Atologa program is over and we move on to the next one, you will not have access to them.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Pleasure.
If we may have Koboto, please.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Good and you? Sorry, is it Kopotso or Komotso?
Kgopotso.
Right. Hi, Kopotso.
My name is Kgopotso. So I'd like to ask, so this program, it's like, is it like there's life coaches. So this is like a business coaching program. Since you just said that it's not like you are a funder, you're just gonna be like taking people through necessary steps to make their businesses successful, right?
Correct.
Yes. So I'd like to ask, is this only orientated towards businesses that are profit orientated or skill development projects as well? Because let me just maybe reference with my kind of business that I'm venturing in. So obviously in a long run I'd like to have it as an establishment, but for now I'm taking it as a skill development project. It's like a visual art skill development project that focuses on silk screen printing, right? So the indigenous way of printing, apart from digital printing, which somehow merges with digital printing, because digital printing is the future since everything now is going into AI, right?
Sure.
So um so now at first how I understood it, I thought maybe you guys, if you say you're not funding, you're gonna be able to coach me to being able to get funding for my project, right?
No, I'm not going to be able to teach you how to get funding.
Yeah.
Remember, we don't use the word funding, it's investment.
Or
But yes,
invest.
continue.
Yes. So I'd like to ask, are you in partnership with investors that are likely to invest in such businesses like project development, skill development projects?
No, we're not. But what we could do is, should you apply and not make it through, and I'm not saying that you will not, we would be able to refer you.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, currently we're not in cahoots with any investors. We have our own investor who puts money into this particular program to make this program successful, to make this program possible. But no, at the moment, we do not have any investors that we could put you in line with, although it is something that we're looking at for future iterations.
Okay. So
Yeah.
follow up to that. So if it's a business that needs to be established, like that needs to maybe it needs an office, let me just say, um, yo, I need simple terms of putting it. Like maybe I need to establish a business, but I don't have necessary investors to be paying rent and all that. But every documentation and financial um, breakdowns are provided. So
Mm.
the business coaching will it be able to assist in that regard?
Do you have a base that you're working from?
Now it's like I'm just freelancing, but using someone else's facilities.
So that's your base.
Yeah,
Is your organization registered, or are you in the
my
process of
organization.
registering? Yeah.
Uh, I didn't have enough business literate, like, yeah, education to register it well. So I registered it in different terms. So now someone just advised me to change the name so that I can actually have different disciplines within the same company.
All right. Can I ask you a favor, Khopotso? Are you able to send me an email
Um,
and we
is
can
it the
look at
same email
this?
that
It's balesa@act.org.za.
okay, no, I'll do that because I really need some guiding.
All right. Except that I might just charge you for this.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
we'll
just send
talk
me an
about
email
it.
and then you and I can talk offline.
All right, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Anyone else? Cats?
Just a minute. Nabantu, please.
Thank you so much. I've got three questions, Alisa, but in the meantime, please can I ask that you show us that screen again with the timetable of the program? And then while you're getting there, the first question is, what is a CAC? You've made reference to it twice during this presentation.
A community arts center.
Sorry, Community Arts Center. Good, got it.
Correct.
The next one is based on how long the program is. I mean, we are in February now, and if I apply and I'm successful, I only get to get the benefit of the grant in a year's time. So that made me wonder, what kind of organizations are you looking for? Are you looking for startups? Are you looking for going concerns? But based on how I've heard you answering other people who have put questions, my conclusion is that you can be at any life stage, but you need to be able to get to viability within the 90 days, which is way from 90 days from the start of the program.
90 days. So the 90-day falls within that second last block at the very bottom that says investment and project implementation phase.
Okay, so that's between
January to March of
a year from
2025.
now. That's a year from now.
Yeah. So remember, we still need to have open call first.
Yes, no, I get
Yeah.
that.
So before we can even get to the project implementation phase, we need to have an idea of who's going to be in the program. What do they need? How do they need that assistance from us? So that by the time that they get to that project implementation phase, we already know the what's, the hows, the ins and outs of their projects and their businesses in order for us to be able to assist them. Hence, it takes so long for us. And that part usually takes place within the master classes, because that's when you sit down with your mentors and discuss your projects. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And then my
But
last
also,
question.
sorry, just to answer your first question, in terms of life cycle, you can be starting out, you can be developed or established.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So which leads to the next question, like if I'm able to tap into other sources of capital, that doesn't disqualify me because a year is a long time away. If I need to be sustainable, I need to be looking at other options to make sure I
Yeah.
survive for a year.
So in the past, we've had a bit of an issue with that because what we're basically saying to you is the little that you have, how do you use that to sustain yourself? And it also depends on the project that you're running. Yes, it's a year, how you're looking at it currently, but for us, it's actually about 6 months. Because for us, it's from July, well, 6 to 8 months, July to March of next year, that you'll be part and parcel of the program. Because before then, there's still the application phase to go through.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
So what sort of project are you running? And I'm not asking you to tell us about it now, but what sort of project are you running? And look at it in this way. Do you really need, for example, the 35K from ACT, or can you get DTI to come on board and assist you with your project?
Okay,
That's how you kind of have to look at it, you know. Is it DTI that can give me 5 mil, or is it cats? Is it ACT that can assist me with starting out on this little project that I'm running because I need to test out how it works, and is it something that can sustain me? Or am I working on a project that is like a huge IT project and the 35K is just a little bit of an add-on to what I currently have? And if it's a little bit to what I already have, then this isn't necessarily the program for you. Although
So
it
mine,
could
Balisa, is a podcast series.
it is
Podcast series.
a podcast series.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Is that eligible or not to apply? I
Does
think
it
it
fit
fits
in?
in. I think it
Does it
fits in
fit
under
in under
digital
these
arts.
disciplines? And I'm asking you.
100%. I see it in digital arts.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then
great.
this is where, yeah, but again, if you're asking us for a mill,
No.
sorry.
Okay, great. Last
Yeah.
question. What type of an organization is ACT? Are you a non-profit organization? Are you a for-profit organization?
We're an NPO.
You're an NPO. Wonderful. Thank
Right.
you so much, Balisa. This has been helpful. Thanks a lot.
Sorry, who am I speaking to? You didn't
This is
introduce us.
Nobantu.
Hi,
Nobantu.
Nobantu.
No, the gentleman introduced me. He called my name, baby. You weren't listening.
Sorry, I'm trying to also write down people's names, but I'm also trying to listen to the question. My apologies.
No worries. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. I'm done.
Just so that we can catch up, I just want to start a bit to the bottom, Balesa, and introduce Irene, please. If you
Hi,
would take the floor.
Irene.
How are you, Balis?
Good evening, you, ma'am.
I'm good. I want to ask about my organization. I'm running two organizations in the one center, which means I'm running ECD and art and culture, and all of them are registered as a NPO. So I want to know that I will qualify to attend the program.
When you say they're registered, are they
I
formally
registered as the NPO, all of them, art and culture.
Yeah, sure. You can.
All right.
But
So
then don't. Sorry, can I just ask? I get an NPO's whole rationale is whatever profits that you make need to be hoid back into the company. You're not making like a little bit of extra on the side, or are you?
Yes.
You are.
But yeah.
But that's through the other one.
The other one for art and culture, they are not even not a funded, but other one they are already funded.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you can register. So long, Mama, so long again as you are either formally or informally registered, so long as you fall within these four disciplines.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Next question, please.
Lorraine, please.
Hi,
Hi.
Lorraine. Hi.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hi, Lorraine. Continue.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Hi, my name is, hi, Palis and all the attendees. My name is Florence Tola, and I operate in the childhood literacy as well as the literary space. So what we do in the literacy space, we encourage childhood reading, reading beyond the classrooms, beyond the school days, just taking up reading as an enjoyable hobby that you can carry throughout your life. And on the literature space, what we do is we showcase what South Africa has to offer in terms of published stories and how they come up against the rest of the continent, as well as other stories published in the diaspora. So I've been doing this for 15 years, and for the past 2 years, I have been running a book festival which takes place in Soweto. So what we do is we celebrate the love of reading. It happens in December, and we also encourage families to come through and bring in young children because December holidays are quite long and we don't want our kids forever on their devices as well as on the streets. I have read on the kind of programs that you guys sponsor, and as much as this book festival is a physical event, it also has a digital element because what we do throughout the year is we digitally we encourage South Africans as well as the rest of the continent, well actually the rest of the world because everything is on social media. We have various platforms on social media. And I was wondering if a book festival of this kind is something that could be considered for inclusion on the program.
In the past, we've actually had literacy included as part and parcel of the Thuthukisani program. For this particular cohort, we have not, and the main reason being the few people that have registered and become participants on the program were not able to, for lack of a better term, continue with the project because of whatever issues that they had throughout the entire program. Um, but if you are able to take your project, Mama, and are able to make a profit out of it and use digital arts, you mentioned digital arts, correct?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
If you're able to, but before I even answer your question, how will you then be making profits outside of the festival?
We run year-long programs where we work with various stakeholders and are invited either in schools, both public and private. And the funds from that then is capital that is used to fund the programs leading up to the festival. And we have because the program is a major program under a registered NPO entity. And what we have done, well, unsuccessfully, is we apply for grants, various grants, and we haven't been able to secure money, but that has not deterred us over the past 2 years that we have been
Yeah.
running this festival. It has not deterred us from doing what is it that we needed to do to meet our objectives.
I would have loved to have our CEO on here because she's a huge encourager of literacy, as well as our other coordinator in the office, to be the one to answer your question. Can I ask that you send me an email just for her to be the one to answer your question? I don't want to give you the wrong answer. And then what I will also do is take your question and the answer that we give you and put it on our FAQ site. I hope you don't mind me doing that. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. And then I also don't want to say register and then you don't make it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, send me an email so that I'm be able to give you the correct answer. There's a number of answers that I can give
is there
you.
another one?
Sorry?
Oh, I
Sorry,
was
there's
asking if
before you
sorry.
answer the before you give me the third question, what I wanted to say is there's a number of ways I could answer your question. But yeah, before I do that, I prefer that she and I sit down just so
no,
we give you the
that's
right one.
understandable. No,
Okay.
my last question was, should I use the same email address that I got in response from my online inquiry?
Is that balesa@act.org.za?
Shoot,
I'm going to share it
okay.
at the end. It's actually here.
All right. Oh, is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah, there it
Fantastic.
is.
I'll use that one.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much. Sure. Any more questions? Okay.
If we can have Theodore next.
Hi, Theodore.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
I can, yes. Hi.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, when you guys look at who to consider for the program, do you guys look at the history of the company? Like, for example, the projects that they have done and maybe income that they have made over the time? Or do you guys only look at their project plan? I'm asking because why? I've only now registered my company now in January officially, and they have all documentation. I have done workshops on camera work, photography, videography. I have attended workshops on acting and what is to do behind the scenes. I have attended workshops on script writing and filmmaking. I am attending a workshop next week on acting and directing. So now I have not done any projects yet, but I would like to use my skills to do projects. But I do not. So that is why I'm asking. Do you guys look at the history of the company, or do you only look at the project planning and considering someone for the program?
We do look at your project plan as well as the budget that goes with that plan.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sorry, and the implementation, the budget implementation plan. So, how long will it take you on how are you going to implement that plan? So, you need to give us all three as part of your application form.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. If there are any other questions that we do have about your organization, that might be a question that is posed to you directly at that point, at that time of application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Theodore.
Palisa, just to note, we have like just 5 minutes left. On the floor, I would like to introduce Manga.
Hi, Smanga. Thank you, guys. Hi, Smanga. Please ask your question. Smanga, are you there?
Maybe they are having a little bit of trouble until we get back to them.
Before we move on to the next one, if Smanga does have a question, is not able to ask it now, they are more than welcome to send me an email.
Smanga, are you there?
No, let's move on to the next question.
Okay. Tabi, so please, you take the floor.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. Hello, Palisa.
Hi, how are you?
And I'm good, and hello, everyone. Palisa, I just wanted to know because I remember last year we were, yes, allowed to apply, but we were not qualifying for the investment. So I would like to know if the CAC this year, it will be different. Will we be able to qualify for the investment?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's what I
But
wanted.
remember that we're only taking on a limited number of CACs per province.
How many per province again?
3 per province.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Yeah. However, if we're not able to fill up those other slots, then we could possibly consider. But I'm not saying that we will, but we could possibly consider.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Noni, if you would.
Sir.
Hi,
Hello.
Nani. Hi.
How are you? Hi everybody. My name is Nontlantla, and I run a place, a creative space called Hamagrisa Indigenous Restaurant and a co-working hub. So I wanted to find out if we can also be part of this program. So what we basically do in the space is that we have a small indigenous restaurant that traditional food, but what also makes us unique is that we're a space for creatives. So we open up our space for artists to do performances, to do showcases, to do live shows, and some of them we also produce. We also have a backyard theater, and we're currently starting or in the process of opening up a backyard gallery. So we have a couple of tourists that do come. We are working with local guest houses, and we are also trying to grow in how we also bring more audiences to come and watch more performances, to come and support artists. We also do events like markets, but on a small scale because we are a small space. And yeah, so I wanted to find out, like, with us is that we do make profit, but the profit that we make mostly is from the restaurant and the food. And with this is the profit that we make to run shows, to pay artists, to host our events and markets, to collaborate with artists in doing their live performances, in showcasing their artwork. So with me, if I do qualify to come in, I would really want to find a way of learning how to, convert all these creative activities that we're doing into a business, formal, how can I say, like a
I hear
sustainable,
you. I hear you.
yes,
Yeah, I hear you.
you know.
Um,
So yeah, that's what I basically wanted to ask. We do have artists come and request to use our space. We do charge them a certain fee so that we can help market their events, and we can help, with marketing them so they'll have more audience. So our job is to make sure that they have audience that come and watch their shows. So yeah, I just wanted to find out if we do qualify for this or not.
all right. Nontanta, what is your main business?
Our main business is art. It's a creative space. It's a space for artists to come and use, and it's a creative space for us too, as we are artists, to also showcase our shows and our performances. That's our main business. The restaurant is just part of bringing customers who buy food, are our day-to-day customers that come and watch the performances. So the restaurant kind of helps us to get the audience that we want to come and see the space and enjoy the performances. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I.
So do you fall under performing arts then?
Yes.
All right, then you can apply. And but this is something I'm going to suggest to everybody. As soon as we open up applications, please read the questions there carefully before you answer, and be as specific as you can when you're answering your questions. So we'll be saying to you, Nantlanta, do you mind having your microphone off for a while? Sorry. Thank you for that. We'll be asking you what is your project plan? Like, you can't just say I'm an artist. Everybody's an artist, but how? Where? What exactly are you doing? What benefit are you bringing to your community, if any? And so you need to be as specific as possible. Read each question and answer each question as I don't know what the word is. Answer each question to the best of your ability, so that if you were, think of it this way, if you were speaking to somebody, how would you sell your business? One of the facilitators last year was always saying to us, if you had to meet somebody in an elevator, and I know if you guys know that concept, the elevator, I think it's called elevator speech, how would you sell your business? Or what would you say to that person if you only had to move from the third floor to the ground floor in a space of seconds? What would you say to sell that your business to that person? What words would you use? And those are the words that you would use in your application form. But also, when you're putting in your budget, please make sure that you include all costs, not just I have an office and I have a car, and because you need to include as much information about who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, who's your audience. And when we're talking audience, we're not just talking I cater to women 35 and 45 and above, or but I cater to women who are Black women who live in the suburbs, who are housewives, etc., etc. Those are the types of things that we're looking for. So, Nonhlanhla, when you're answering that question, and this is again for everybody, when you're answering that question, be as basic as you possibly can, but at the same time, put in as much information about your business and your project, especially, as you can. When it comes to the figures, put in as much figures as you possibly can, but those figures must be in line with what you're doing. Don't make up things that are not there. Please do not forget your marketing, because your marketing is very important. But Nantlantla, please, whatever information that you put in there about your application form, give us as much information as you possibly can. All right? Thank you. But yes, you can apply because you fall under performing arts, to answer your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question.
Yeah, Akumzi, please, you have the floor.
Hi, Akumzi.
Can you hear me?
I can, Baba.
Okay. I'm a bit worried here since I was a participant last year, but I couldn't go to the next round because my province was not included. So now I'm a bit worried. Would it my proposal, when I put it in, wouldn't it be jeopardized, or the chances of it being received for this year again, since you don't accept participants? Because I was not accepted to the investment round. So wouldn't it jeopardize my chances when I put it in this year? Would I still get the same the same treatment as last year? Or can you please explain further there?
So Akumzi, I I don't know how your application will be received, because remember, as ACT, we do not receive, I mean, they come onto our at the back end of our website, but they go on to other people who make the considerations. So you need to work on your application form. Use the feedback that you received last year to improve on that. And see where you can make amendments if need be. But in terms of the reception, I cannot say how that will be received. But look at the
Okay.
feedback that you got last year, because I know I gave you feedback, correct?
Yes, definitely. So basically,
Yeah.
the process is gonna be the same. Nothing is gonna change. I can still apply and I can still go through the whole process if I get accepted.
So long as you didn't make it into that final phase, yes, you can apply. It's only the people that have made it as far as the implementation phase where they executed their project. Those are not permitted to apply again. But if you have made it into just the training element of it, then yes, you can still apply.
Okay, thank you very much, Palisa. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And all the best, by the way. All right, Cats, do you have any more questions?
It's a number like what you call 2559. Please, you have the floor.
Is anybody there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, my name is Lwazi Sanadai.
Hi, Rosie.
Yeah, I'm the founder of Collective Lab. So basically, Collective Lab is a digital studio where we are fusing digital artworks, transfer them into printing, then transfer them into clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So the other end of Collective Lab is a retail space, because we're working with a lot of brand owners. So we do printing for those brand owners. Then we provide a retail space for them at a minimum fee, because we've realized that there's a lot of youth unemployment, and there's a merge of people doing their branding and establishing their clothing brand in order to, to be part of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've formalized the business. I've registered it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just really struggling with investment, because it cannot reach its fullest potential. So I wanted to know if I can apply on this and maybe get that assistance.
Okay, my first question to you.
Yeah.
And I need you to please look at the slide that I've got open.
Yeah.
Do you fit in under, I need you to look at this and then
Yeah.
answer yourself. Do you fit in under any one of these four disciplines?
Now let me double check this. So which is visual arts, digital arts, performing arts? Yes.
And music.
Yes. Yes, I
All
do.
right. Which means that you can apply, correct?
Yes. Okay. Okay.
All right. But also, you said that you're formal, correct?
Yes, I am very formal. Yes.
Okay. And you fit into the selection criteria.
To that?
Does your project plan fit into this selection criteria that's on this particular slide that's open now?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
It fits perfectly here.
So are you answering your own question?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry I was late for the meeting also.
Okay, all right. Guys, I'm also going to have this presentation on the website. So if there's anything that you missed, it is definitely going to be on our website. If you wouldn't mind, please give me a day or two just to go first through the questions that have been raised, because I want to make sure that I've written them down at a later stage and then view them and see what we can include as part of our FAQ and then the recording will go onto our website. If anybody has missed out on anything, the presentation will definitely be on our website. But yes, if you fit in under any one of these 4 disciplines, visual arts, digital arts, performing arts, and music, and you have a project idea that has assets that you can use to implement your project, if you have a budget and a budget implementation plan, you're able to generate income over a 90-day period, you can benefit from mentoring, whether it be one-on-one or group. Your project is able to be adaptable to what we're currently going through as a country, and your project is able to indicate some sort of sustainability on a long-term basis and create opportunity for growth for not just the project, but for the business as a whole, then yes, you're more than welcome to apply. Hope I've answered you then, Lwazi.
Yes, you have answered me. Thank you.
My pleasure, ma'am. All right. Is there anybody else, Kat?
Just one last question. Is this recording available for us of this meeting this morning?
Yes, it is. I will put I'm going to put this presentation as well as the recording on the website. But as I've just asked, please give me a day or 2 and it will definitely be on there. And we'll also share it on, we'll share the link on our socials.
Awesome. Palisa, just to note, there's no more questions at the moment.
All right, guys, just want to go into this very last slide. Here's my email address. If there are any questions, if there's anything that you did not understand, if you did not like this presentation, if you liked it, if you want to have another discussion about anything that has to do with the program, please send me an email to the address that you see here on the screen. That's balesa@act.org.za. As I've said, we will put the recording up on our website latest Monday afternoon. What I want to do is first go through the recording, make sure that whatever questions, pertinent questions that were asked, that have already been asked in the past, are selected and put in under FAQ so that everybody can view them. So all that information along with the recording will be on our website on Monday latest in the evening, afternoon, late evening. But thank you very much for everybody being present at the session. I value your time. I value all of your questions. Applications will open up on the 20th of February, almost at March. And yeah, right. We will then chat via email for anybody that's interested. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day further.
Thank you. Bye.
And thank you.
Thank you, Palisa.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much, Cats. Thank you very much, Jace.